Hope you are doing well. As Etienne introduced me, I'm Salma SAMIEI, postdoctoral researcher at University of Angers, and we have collaboration with INRAE, and I'm also working in Imhorfen team. So today, I would like to present my one of my contribution on speeding up image annotation through the article that is published recently and you can find it in the link below. It's in Sensor Journal. So as I told you, I worked in Imhorfen team during my PhD and also in my postdoc. But let me introduce you mostly what we are doing in Imhorfen. Actually, Imhorfen is an international group, consists of young researchers that with different academic background. Some of them are like you studying physics in University of Angers, and we are working on leading edge research, uh, mostly in machine learning or deep learning in plant phenotyping, and also in microscopy imaging. So let's start by talking about motivation of this scientific study. The title of the study, as you can see here in this on the first slide, is Toward Joint Acquisition Annotation of Images with Ecocentric Device for Lower Cost Machine Learning Application to Apple Detection. So as I mentioned, the objective is speeding up image annotation. Uh, and as you know, most of you have, as I guess, have background in machine learning and maybe in deep learning. But you know that machine learning is could be an effective and efficient strategy to deal with different type of questions. For example, it can handle the complexity and diversity of plant phenotyping images, as well as other kind of images that maybe you can see in your field of work. Among all methods of machine learning, we are interested in supervised machine learning. And in supervised machine learning, we need to have large amount of annotated data. Here you can see a diagram of supervised machine learning. These are the data set that we have. We have images and also the label of the images. We need these labels during the training process, and after that, with another data set that our model doesn't they haven't seen before, we can do the prediction. So, but what is image annotation? Image annotation is the process of labeling the image data with certain outlines and keywords. Here you can see we have a video of image labeling for wheat disease detection. One of my colleague is doing this annotation for differentiate different parts of this wheat that has disease or not. Based on the different tasks that we have, for example, segmentation and classification, we can do annotation in different levels. For example, we can apply it on image level or in object level or level. For example, you can here you can see that we segment each leaf separately. And for example, here we just put a label for our image, or here we just with bounding box, we separate each object in our image. Usually, image annotation is done manually. We define a region in an image by creating a description of those regions. But as you can guess, doing this work manually could be very tedious, very expensive, and labor-intensive and time-consuming task. And based on these based on this consideration that we have, we want to speed up the process of the image annotation. So there are different ways or different strategy for speeding up image annotation. There are some supervised machine learning based applications that we can use for speeding up the annotation. Also, there are one method like active learning. There are some strategies that we categorize them in computer assisted image annotation, and also kind of strategies for speeding up image annotation that we categorize them in human assisted image annotation. The strategy that today I want to talk about is vision-based image annotation, and due to limitation of the time, we couldn't cover the other parts. But let's see what does it mean, vision-based image annotation. Based on different literature that I cite one of them here, as you can see, vision is the fastest human sense based on measuring the reaction time to visual stimulus, especially when the goal is discriminate the outliers. But how we can capture vision and use the information based on the vision for speeding up image annotation. The strategy could be using these kind of eye tracking systems. Here you can see two type of eye tracking devices. The first one, we called it a screen-based eye tracker. The second one is glasses eye tracker, or we call it Ecocentric eye tracker, and this is the device that we use in this article. In the middle, you can see the provided information by these two type of eye tracking system. We can have a heat map. For example, you can see here heat maps, and also we can have these kind of bounding boxes. There are some early demonstration of using eye tracking for the image annotation, and in our group in Angers University, we were the first one that used this technology for annotating images in agriculture application in 2018. Actually, this work that I just in next slide, I just talk it briefly about it, but it won the best poster in BMVC conference in England. So, as you can see here, we use a screen-based eye tracker, the first version that I showed you, to annotate the views that are available on these kind of salad plants. Actually, the first step is define the task. We ask our annotator or observer to look at the image, and if he saw something like weeds inside the image for some amount of time. And after that, in this third part of the slide, you can see that we analyze the result by heat map, and when there is something interesting, in our case the weeds, we can see the heat maps on that part. So these heat maps are the results that we use further for our analysis. However, there are some kind of limitation by using these screen-based eye tracking systems. The limitation is image acquisition and annotation process are two separate steps. It means we first need to acquire image, or we need to have a data set, and after that we do the annotation by asking the annotator or observer. We were thinking that how we can reduce the total time of the process by joining these two different steps together. Actually, the solution, as you can guess, could be using glasses eye tracker. We propose the approach of joining image acquisition and annotation on the field by egocentric eye tracking devices. We use it for observe apples on the field for counting, variety testing, estimating shape, positioning, and so on. And these are very important questions for plant biologists that we work with. So we, for doing this, for working on this kind of projects or problems, we need to have large, diverse amount of annotated data. So this task also could be very challenging because, as you can see, there is variation of illumination. In this part of a slide, you can see the sample of data sets and grand truths that we have. But there is a variation of illumination. There is clutter from self-similar background. The apples, the objects are variety in sizes, in colors, and so on. In this slide, I would like to show you the capturing of the images by egocentric eye tracking, and you can see here this green part is the gazing path. As you can see, it's very chaotic, and also this area around, we called it attention area. As it is visible on the video, the gazing point is not exactly positioned on the center of the object of interest. Actually, this is we applied some kind of calibration before this acquisition, but still there is some kind of shifting. So we apply some kind of image processing to extract the attention area. To compensate this kind of shifting that happens in the gazing point. It means we defined an area around the object of interest. The size of this area should be accurate enough, and later we process just this part instead of processing the whole image. And this could be very light processing if we compare it with process of all the whole the image. Here in this slide, you can see the pipeline of the process. At the first step, we acquired the images or videos by egocentric device. After that, we extract our frames. The objective is extract the attention area accurate enough to do segmentation or annotation of object of interest, that is apple in our case. We apply segmentation. We use very famous method called slick superpixel segmentation. In the following, we apply clustering to cluster apples from the background, and also we evaluate the performance of our segmentation. So this part is a state-of-the-art approach that we apply to our study, and I cite the article that I use the approach based on that. But how we choose the size of the attention area? We test different size, and as you can see, there is no monotonic evolution based on the size of the attention area. When this size is too small, the area of the attention area is too small, there is a shift and we miss the apples, and the accuracy is very low. When the size of the attention area is too large, it means that we need to process the whole image. So it could be complex, and the accuracy is also very low. So the optimum or the best size for the attention area based on this accuracy that we have could be the triple of the average of the apples in our data set. So in this way, we define the size of the attention area in our case. We also compare this approach with different strategies. First, we define a naive baseline, which is the full frame, and it means we consider the attention area as the whole size of the image. As I told you till now, we expect the accuracy drops because the scene is very complex scene. The second approach is a saliency, and it means that by saliency detection strategy, we can detect salient object or more attractive object on the image. There are different algorithms for saliency detection. We use one of them that are available. The code is available for compute a saliency map. After that, when we computed the saliency map, we thresholded to binary mask, and after that, we used to produce the attention area. So you can see here these kind of parts that you can see here is the part that our algorithm consider them as a salient saliency map, or the objects that are more attractive. So there are some kind of misdetection, as you can see. The tech that you can see here is screen-based eye tracking. The first device that I introduced you, we use this device also for detecting the attention area, and after that segmenting the object. These pink parts that you can see, these are the objects that are detected, and we consider the attention area the same size as the attention area that we calculated on the previous slide on these part of objects. The fourth strategy is egocentric barrier. Ecocentric barrier means that most attractive object should be located in the center of the image. Actually, it is based on the literature that works in egocentric strategies, and they consider the object of interest, because egocentric means based on the viewer. These are located on the center, and we consider the same attention area as the center of the object. As it's obvious, we miss a lot of object of interest, apples that are available around this area. So based on all these strategies, you can see here the result of the algorithm for segmentation, detection, and localization, and also for the time. The screen-based eye tracking, the eye tracking strategies, the both glasses and also the screen-based eye tracker, give us the best accuracy or performance for segmentation, for detection, and for localization. It means that we can use these approaches based on eye tracker to speeding up the annotation process, and also for apple counting and apple localization. We also compare our result based on the time of the annotation with comparison of the manual annotation. You can see here the egocentric barrier and also the glasses eye tracker are the fastest approaches after the full frame. By sure, full frame doesn't have a good accuracy, so we don't consider it for the approach of the interest. But these two approaches provide the fastest time for doing the annotation. So we reach the goal of speeding up the image annotation, and also we have good accuracy for training or model with this kind of annotated data that is provided by eye tracking systems. So an important result is despite of this error shift, if the glasses eye tracker compare with the screen-based eye tracker, in the left you can see glasses eye tracker result, and on the right there is the result of a screen-based eye tracker. If we compare these two attention area, we can see that by defining the attention area big enough, we can get the accuracy as the same as the screen-based eye tracker. So it's the objective of defining this attention area. And as a conclusion of the study, I can say by using egocentric eye tracking, the time of image acquisition and annotation reduced significantly. And this kind of glasses eye tracking could be expensive, but we can simulate extracting the attention area by egocentric eye tracking by improving saliency detection or egocentric detection strategy to mimic the gaze information. And also, this study was the first demonstration of image annotation in the field for plant phenotyping application. So this work is published in Sensor article, as I mentioned recently, and I hope that all of you notice that how much is important to to have a really good, accurate annotation that doesn't need too much time for doing the annotation. So, but this annotation that is provided by eye tracking or vision based couldn't be the solution for all kind of annotation strategies. For example, when we have a lot of objects of interest in the scene, it could be more tiring with compared of just clicking on the parts that we are interested. In the right scene, you can see the route segmentation, and we are interested on a route tip at the end of each part of the route, and maybe clicking could be easier or less tiring with compare of doing the annotation by using a vision. Here also we want to, the goal is do the segmentation of each leaf individually, and we use eye tracking to look at the center of each leaf separately, but when there is overlapping or the object is very tiny, it could be complicated as well. So for this approach, we have the strategy of putting the seeds on the soil, and after that, we do the region growing by of considering the center of the leaf. And for this project, we have the approach of detecting the root tip. So we do the trajectory to find a lateral route, and after that we do the skeletonization. So these two projects are ongoing projects that we are working on, and I don't have any results to show you to show them to you. But also the other strategy that we can have if the annotation by vision couldn't be the solution for us is using synthetic data or simulated data. Actually, we also worked on simulated data for this kind of leaf segmentation, and we published our article in CVPR 2019. You can have access to the article if you are interested based on this it's not a link, but based on the title of the article. So it was the thing that I wanted to introduce you as a work that we recently published. Thank you so much for your attention, and I feel happy if you have any question and I can answer it to you.